Welcome to the tr6 parts video. Today's video, tr6 gearbox rebuild. Alright, so we have a tr6 gearbox here, a transmission, and we are going to strip it all apart and rebuild it. So, these videos are not going to be about how the gearbox works. There's great videos out there. There's one, I know Ellen from Rusty Beauty's done a great one. Absolutely fantastic one if you want to see how the actual ins and outs of this gearbox works. To be honest, there's no better in that, so I'm not even going to attempt it. This one's going to be simply, we're going to take this gearbox, I'm going to show you how to strip it all down to a simple shell, and then we're just going to end up cleaning it up and then put it back together. We're going to replace some parts. I'm going to see if other parts need replacing. So basically we're going to go from this to what we see over here, which is this button. Has another gearbox. I know, I didn't think, but that's it there. So this one here is a late gearbox, and this one is an early. So, how would you really know? Alright, let me show you. First of all, we're going to go by the numbers. So, on this side here, just behind where your lever is for your the shaft, at least your slave cylinder, the clutch slave cylinder, you'll see it's stamped there. CD, I don't know, it looks like 33023 to me or something. Is it 33027 or something like that? Anyway, CD is an early model. If you wanted to get a late one, it will be stamped CC. So that's one way of knowing it's an early or late. How else do we know? Well, the top of it. Another thing to know is the top, because you can see the switches are in one spot, and off a late model, they're in a different place. So the late models are back here, and the earlier one just runs the one up the top. So overdrive units usually keep them there as well. Other than that, that's the only thing we'll sort of give it away, whether it's an early or late gearbox. Either one can be used. The only difference is, obviously the early goes with an A-type overdrive, and the late one goes with a J-type. So, that's really it. I'm not going to go into too much details on them. So what we're going to do is we're going to get cracking on rebuilding this. So first of all, we want to strip it. So let me get this away. Obviously you want to take the oil out first, which may or may not be a hard or an easy thing, because either it will come out nice and clean, or else none at all will come out, or else in this case it came out like tar and take a while. So there's still fluid at the bottom, so I'll put the plug back in the bottom again. What you want to look for before you even start to do anything is look at the oil. First of all, is it still clear in the way of that? Is it not black? In other words, like, let me show you this oil that came out of this one. Here, it's black. It's been in there a long time, and I'm pretty sure over the lifetime of 50 years, it never got drained and refilled. So you can see gear oil that's been used a long time. Gear oil has a certain smell. It sticks in your nose for days. It's clear, it's yellow, it's like engine oil, it'll look like that. So that's what you want to look at. How clear is it, or how thick is it, and what shade it is. The other thing that's other important that you really want to look for is, when it comes out, does it look like metallic? What you're looking for is metal fragments. So that shows like grinding the gears. If you see chunks coming out, well then something's wrong, because, well, there shouldn't be chunks of metal coming out. So that's another thing to look for as well, before you ever start. If you have it coming out and it looks like a big bowl of metallic flake, there's a good chance something's gone wrong in here, and you're probably going to spend a lot fixing it. But again, you won't fully know until you get in there. There's always the possibility it's just bad oil, but you never know. Anyway, so that's something to look for before you start, because it'll give you an idea where to go with this. So, where are we going to begin? What we want to do first really is, and you have a few different options. One is, I like to take this off first, so I can physically look in and see the gears. If the gears are all crunched up and chopped or broken and there's teeth missing, well then there's a good chance I may not use it, and I'll just discard it, which means instead of going through all the rigmarole of pulling it apart, then look at it, I'll have a look at the gear first before I ever do anything. So, let's start with that. There's a few different ways you can take this apart. I say there's a few different ways, but only one way. There's a few different orders you can do it in. But you sort of have to do in a certain order. Like this, you don't have to do this part first. You could take the flange off the back, you could take the whole cross shaft off, things like that. Anyway. So, in case anybody wants to ask, let me see if I can give you some information. The synchros. So like the synchros, if you're going to rebuild your gearbox, you'll always replace. It's like replacing like the bearings or thrust washer on an engine. It's something you're going to do anyway. It's something I wouldn't put back in because they take the brunt, and again, they're cheap enough. If you're going that far to strip the whole damn thing out, you might as well replace certain parts. It's the gear, and that's the main thing. They're the expensive parts. They want to see the one you keep. Everything else you should be able to replace. All right, we take this off. Well, I like it because it still has nice golden oil in it. It's not black, which means it was lubricated up to here, or else it was upside down for some time. But we'll do another video on this, so there's another part we'll go look and we'll do that. Alright, so now we have our gearing in here. I can see all the leftover oil that never came out. So I'll give it a first glance first and see, is there anything that strikes out? Like I'm looking at the gear here, and it has it right down the middle. It has a chunk. Let me show you. You shouldn't be there. Now it's not the worst. Hopefully it's bright enough to see. But you can see that all the way down. That shouldn't be there. Right, that looks like something just got stuck in there and took a chunk out of the mold. So the rest of them look pretty okay. I know I have it zoomed in a lot. I almost zoomed out a bit. All the rest look okay. Straight away, well, I mean straight away means that it looks pretty good in the way of nothing else stands out except for that line coming through them teeth. Now I just have to remember, I'm almost sure that's not meant to be there. There's no reason for it to be there. Now, does it affect it? No. It won't affect it the way it slides. It shouldn't make a difference because the teeth all go in. The only thing I can think of, maybe something was dropped in there and got thing. But that's, believe it or not, even though that's there, it's livable. But I just had to go down the bottom and see why. Maybe a piece broke off. And again, that's why you look for metal shreds. Maybe a piece broke off and got stuck in there and went around, done a couple of laps and left this indent and so on. But again, as long as the gearing is deep enough and the match is in, that shouldn't affect it. But it'd be nice to know what costs it. What you're looking for is obviously the edges to make sure they're not chipped away. Yeah, other than that, it looks okay in there. All right. So where are we going to go next? All right, what I usually like to do next is I like to take out the cross shaft. So let's go into the clutch part of it. Again, I don't want to go into too much detail. So obviously you have our cross shaft. We have our fork. So this is still movable, thank God. There is a bushing in here, so remember, if you are doing it, remember to tap that bushing out and replace it. Again, these parts you can get here from Planet 6 Parts. So when you're taking this out, why is that going in there? Somebody put it too far. So to take this out, we have a bolt down the bottom. Let me see if I have one here. I should have one. Okay. And I'm going to show you this one from earlier on. So this is the other one here that, as you can see, I grinded it off. And the reason why is that I took the pin out, and there's a lot of time these will break, these will snap, and it's pretty common. You break, this shaft stays in there and it goes right through the cross shaft, which means you can't remove the fork. Because once you take this out, this should slide across the fork and you should be able to slide the shaft all the way out and off it comes. However, this one here you can see has this extra tab or hole. This goes all the way through and it's like a pressure fitting. And it looked like an Allen key. So I tried to screw it out, it wouldn't come out. I tried to tap it out, it wouldn't budge. I tried to even drill it, and I got absolutely nowhere with it. So I says, right, well, the hell with this, and so I just grind it off. These are not bad on price, actually. We sell them here at Planet 6 Parts, and they're actually pretty decent on price, the whole thing. So again, sometimes you may be better off replacing it, because you want to look at the pins on your fork and really see if they're flattened out, because they have to stay in the you have your throwout bearing and you have your collar. So the collar that was on this one, on the one behind me here that I stripped, that one, the collar had been brazed. So, and a lot of the time there'd be a hole in it. Well, say it broken off, and you had to put it in one side and slip it over this, so you don't have to bring it all the way down. It's like a cheat. But once it breaks, it's brittle, which means if it breaks once, it can break again. You could end up with no clutch, and then that's going to be expensive to rip the whole thing out to change it. So if it's not in good condition, I suggest just change it all. We'll see if this one will come out. Hopefully it will. Looks a little worse for wear, but then again, it can be deceiving. Just be mindful that there is a wire that goes through the bottom of it. Again, that's to stop it from opening itself. So let's give it a try and see what happens. I think this is somewhere where there's a hairy dog. I can't even find the wire, there's so much hair in here. Okay. Now, let's see how good we get with this one. I think it's a 1/2 inch. The one below, I'm pretty sure it's a 1/2 inch fits, isn't it? Yeah. I said that most likely this will the time you usually break, so I'm not expecting it to come out in one go. But if it doesn't, then I'm taking the grinder to it. Oh, it's actually loose. Actually, pretty loose. That means one of two things: either was just barely in, or it's broken. And that only the small pieces come down. And it's, oh dear, broken. So that means it won't go across the shaft. So there is you can fight this battle if you really wanted to try, but I'm not going to bother. So I'm going to take the grinder and I'm going to grind it off. Just so you know, even if it did come out in one go, I suggest you do not put the original one back in, because it lasted that long. It certainly is not going to probably last the next bunch of time. Alright, where is my stuff? Alright. Obviously I'm going to cut on this side because it goes this way to come out, and that will allow one side of the shaft to come out, and then the other side will slip up far enough to fall out. Hopefully you can see. see if I got it far enough to break it off with a hammer. That way I don't grind too far into it. Nope, a little bit more. Should be it. There we go. Take my glasses and. Alright. So now we have that out, we can slide out the shaft. If you're mindful, there is a spring there. And then this piece should come up. Alright. So, here's an option. You can see where it's broken in there. So you can always try drill it out, but you have to be mindful that it's a good chance that you're going to wreck the threads on this, because there is no other way of getting it. And you can see as soon as it comes out, that'd be it. So it might actually, do you know what? It might go through. No, I think there's just maybe an. Oh no, it might be salvageable. I might be able to get that out actually. So what I'll do is I'll be able to hammer that all the way through. I'll take all the crap off this and then I may be able to save the fork. So lucky enough it broke, and it broke up high enough that it broke just inside the actual shaft, the cross shaft. So that allows it to actually slide across, because otherwise if it broke down further and it was still in this this chamber, then it wouldn't have slid across. So that's salvageable. It's just pretty greasy. Alright, I'm going to put these away. Alright, now we have that done. While we're on the front of it, what we're going to do is, this is our first motion. So again, it might be okay, it might not be. Well, I won't fully know until I actually clean it all up and see. So we're going to remove, while we're here, this bottom plate and this one. This one allows for the shaft to come through, and this one is where your oil seal is behind. So just be mindful, if you hadn't drained it and you open this, you're going to get oil everywhere. But just be mindful if you're doing this to have it somewhere where you expect oil to fall out, like an engine. It's going to leave a mess. So just expect it, so you might as well prepare yourself for it. I have a moving mat on a wooden table, so if someone comes out, at least it catches it. It's better than on the floor. Oh, come off. There we go, there's one plate out, and this one should just pop off. Right. So, make note of this one. So if you want to know which way it goes on, and like I said, we're gonna, as we go through the video going back, I'll say it again to be sure. But just in case you want to make notes, there's a lump here on the side. The best way to remember is this lump goes to this lump to lump, and then you'll know it's on the right direction. Other than that, your seal is in here. It is a bit of a nightmare to get out. The best thing to try to do again is to put a screwdriver or something down here to try push it out as best you can. But after that, it's a case of tapping this, and again, I can't give you the best way to do it because it's awkward. You'll have to find your own way without getting into it. Pulling it back on is easy. It's just getting it off is the hard way. So maybe I'll do a video of find an easier way of doing it. But I usually just put a screwdriver in to get it and try to push as much as I can. Sometimes I have to put a really small flathead in here just to loosen it enough to try to twist it and get the pressure off the wall, and then eventually go. So it's a trial and error thing. It is what it is. Alright, you got cloth again. So now I have them off. The only last thing I'm going to do while it's there is there is a retainer pin or a shear pin. So if I can show it to you. So there it is there, and it's pretty similar to the pins you find on the shafts that's on your pistons. The only difference with this is they normally contract in to get them out. This one's a little different because it's on the inside. You have to expand it out to get it out. So it's not exactly easy to do, but I'm going to show you a trick I have. But the only trick I have is that once that comes off, it ain't going back on. That's the only tip. Hang on, find my tool. So what I use this. Trying to see if you can see it. Yeah, focus in. This one here, and this one spreads out. Because again, these are tools you can get. Like you can see, it's blue, so because I got this in Princess Auto. This is what I use. I use these for bezels as well. There's another one that's the other way around, that's out and you squeeze and it goes in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze it out and put a flathead screwdriver on the back end of it and push it out. But again, usually it comes out, and by the time I get it out, I kept this one, it will end up looking like this. Literally like a horseshoe. So it's meant to be a little rounder than that because it's meant to be touching. So there's one of those parts that if you're going to rebuild it, you get new ones anyway. So it's like a one-time use. So again, I wouldn't be putting it back in. So I'm not too worried about it. If you can do it right, if you have the right one, which I do have a tool there, but I'm pretty sure it's not for this one, you can spread it enough and you can save it. I normally don't because it just keeps flicking back at me and I get fed up. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, half of it. Hang on, I might be able to save this one. Oh yes! But now I'll spread it wider to get up here. There you go. So, that's... Whoop, I'm zoomed in, I didn't realise it. That's probably the way it is when you get it, when you got to put it back on. That's how close it should be. But again, I'm getting new ones, so I'm not too worried about it. So behind that is a washer. And the reason why you have to remove that is when we go to take the gearing out, it comes out this direction. So that basically stops it from coming out off the shaft. That just makes it come out. Alright, so now we have these out. Keep them to the side. Alright, so that's that done. Let me clean up again. Put some stuff away. So I find when I do this, that the table fills up pretty quick with stuff. Alright. I'm taking everything off the table because I end up with no room. Put it there for a minute. Alright, so where are we going to next? I won't take that down. Well, the next thing what we want to do then is we want to start looking at the back end of it. So let me prop this up. Here's the only other difference between an early and a late. That's the worst thing about the shape of them, they never sit easy. Okay. Difference between an early and late. The late models have just a nut. The early models have a big castle nut, as you can see, with a split pin. Could you put this one on a late one? Ooh, I don't know. Could you? Are the treads the same size? You could. Oh, it's gonna break on me. Oh well, I got it in two. Clean, and then we're going to take this off. Is it a 1 the same as the one? Nope, it's bigger. Still bigger. There we go. Alright, so for this I'm going to use the impact one. Make life easy. Oh, go on. Now the later ones, their one is a little harder to get off because it has a castle nut. It's usually not on that type, but I just don't want to flute around it too much. Okay, so now that's out, we can tap off the rear flange. So we can take our flange off. You can use a bearing puller if you want, that's a choice. I'll just tap it off. Alright. So as far as I'm aware, there's no difference between this one and the one on the late one. The flanges should be the same. Same size. You do, as far as I know, the only thing that's different is if you have an overdrive, this flange will not work on. I'm pretty sure of that. Somebody may confirm that, but that's what, as far as I know, the way it was. It's a different length because the whole rear end is different. All right, now we have that off. What we can do now is we can actually remove this whole rear end. So. This is probably where all the oil is going to start leaking out of me. It's going to come out somewhere. Oh, there it is. Let's see what's over it. Oh, no. Oh my god. It's everywhere. Sprung a leak. Well, at least I got the rest of the oil out quicker than the drain hole. That's why I have rags down here, because, like I said, I knew what to expect. No different than doing an engine. You know it's going to drain coolant, it's going to drain oil. It's coming. There's no avoiding it. Unless you leave it upside down for a day or so. Alright. Alright, so now that that's off, what we can do is we can tap the back off. Now there's two different ways you can do this. You can just simply tap it straight out, but be mindful, it is a light metal, so if you start bashing this with a hammer, there's a good chance you may crack or break it. So what I like to do first is I'll put a flathead screwdriver and just break that seal and get as far back as I can, and then I'll take a mallet to it, but there's a good chance the mallet doesn't do too much, just because it hasn't got the strength, but you can tap it a lot lighter than the screwdriver or the hammer. Now, just have to double check all the nuts are first. Otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere. Oh, look, there is one left now. I was wondering why I wasn't budging. Yeah, see? It should have gone pretty quick as soon as you start tapping it. So I should have checked first. No harm done. I'm only right at the edge here, so I'm okay. But you can see the difference how quick it went. Obviously I missed the bolt. Now, it comes up a fair bit. It comes up a good ½ an inch, and it should still stay stuck there because of the pressure on it. Alright. I said this is where you get to the point where you can use a mallet. Oh, do you know what? I got lucky here. It came off nice and easy. Now, watch out, the washer should come flying over here. There's a washer in here. Sorry, I'm over here. There's a washer that will come over here. So just remember that. And then in here we have our, see, that's what I was saying. See all this? This looks metallic. As if something grinded and look, that's chunky. That's terrible. Sorry, I'm on the wrong side, you can't see. But I'm looking at this, see? That looks like all metallic. That's from from grinding. So and it's all gathered at the bottom. You can see? It's all thick, and that's what I'm saying. It's all metallic as if it was metal in there. So again, I have to look for this. That could have been something that happened before. Could be anything. But I can see flakes on the gear in here. See, and that's what I'm looking at. So that's what I'm seeing, and it gives you an idea of what's going on in here and what needs to be changed. So this is only plastic. I'm not worried about that. But I'm just wondering what the metal is. Like, it's come from somewhere, so I know this has a chunk in it, but that wouldn't build up that amount of in it. Shouldn't be that high. Anyway, let's move on further. Like I said, we'll investigate more as we go along. Alright, so where are we going to now? So the next part what we want to do is, it's all down here as well. At the rear end. Maybe one of the shafts or some of that was. The only thing I can think of, and I know somebody's going to say it, and it is the possibility, is that somebody put like a zinc gear oil in there, and that's it, just after churn up, and that's all the zinc, because zinc is basically like a metallic thing to it, and that's all that is. So that might be metal, that could be just all the zinc in the gear oil that's actually after crushing after so many years. So that's a possibility as well. I've been mindful of that. I almost forgot. But again, we won't know until we inspect everything and see. Maybe it's a little bit of mixture of both. We'll see. All right, where are we going to next? Next, we are going to, and this is the part that I hate, taking this screw out. So let's just stay still. Hopefully it does. Stay still. Stay on that. Stay. Okay, there's a screw here. See down here? This one has to come out first, the screw. And it's just enough that it won't come out by hand. You have to use like a ratchet. But it's a big screw. It's a big head on it. It's a big head. Like it's a big Phillips or star, whatever you want to call it. So this is what gets me, because a lot of the times I end up ruining it because of this. Where's my screwdriver? So I'm wondering, will it go? I'll try by hand first. No. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm just gonna drain it more. What it is. I want to place it upwards. Just so. Hope you can see okay. I want to place it up because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the vice grips to this and try to turn it. The last time I used a small, just a ratchet with a big Phillips in it, but do you think I can find it? No, and that's how I ruined the last one I done, because I couldn't find it and I used a smaller one and it wasn't big enough. And unfortunately so I'm hoping to do this and hoping this will work. No, it's not. Because it's round, I'm not getting enough grip on it. What do I do now? If you have certain screwdrivers are designed for a ratchet or a socket to go on it, like the glass ones can go onto it. There's some that have like just the plastics that have a little groove here, and you can put a spanner around it or whatever. The problem with my ones are they're rubber. So when I say rubber, they're rubbery. So you just rip apart, so it's pretty useless. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go with this one again now. Let me see if I'll go back to my socket set. I'll try to find the next biggest one I have and hope it works. Big one. Where are you? Where are you? It's usually ones nobody ever uses. Whoever uses a big Phillips that size usually never use it. Which is I'm looking for the chunky one. No, I'm afraid of doing this again, of annihilating it. It took me ages to get the last one out because I ringed it. Okay. Alright, let me try different voice grips. I had a better vice grips and of course I can't find it now. Let's see if this works. No, I'm not getting enough grip on it. I need like a flat spot to. Hang on, maybe. No, this is where I have all these tools, but yeah, I can't get a Phillips screw in. Look, just spinning around on here. Yeah. This one, that's what I'm saying about this one, it won't. I don't have the grip for it. I just. Oh yes, yeah, it actually worked. Won't be trying again though. I'm gonna go out and get something better to actually let me do this. Oh, yeah. Something simple. This is simple, and there's just enough torque in it, but I just don't have a socket that's this size. It's a big fat screw. And I don't want to use the flathead because it always breaks. So anyway, before I go any further, let me show you this. This is a little important part. So in here you can see there's two shafts, right? This one drops the lower gears, and this one's for your reverse one. Now here, these bars can only go in one way because this tab will pop out when it wants to pop out. Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna have to hit it harder. But I don't know if you can see, but like here there's a groove. This shaft has a groove in it, and what happens is that it allows the tab to slip underneath it. So actually, do you know what? I have it over here. Ooh, drop everything. Here's the lay shaft here. You can see the way it's grooved out. So that tab slips underneath it. So just be mindful that that's how this popped out. So it just slides out, and this one here for your reverse is the exact same. So I just wanted to point that out before I took it out so you knew. And once I drop the lay shaft down, that should pop out. This is going to pop right out, and which way to go? This falls. Which way to go? Go this way. Comes, and then this shaft is going to go all the way down and it's going to pop out the front. So that plate that you took off the front, that's where it will pop out. Now the first one I done was pretty good, because as soon as I took that out, the thing just went all the way down. So it's pretty long, so you do need something long to reach down here. You don't have to hit it hard. It's only a quarter. It's not the greatest thing to hit it with. A little tough, so I'm going to take that out for a break it. And now you have a big red screwdriver in here somewhere. Where is it going? There it is. Nice big long screwdriver, so this will go all the way in. So when you get most of the way out, you'll have to turn it onto its side. And hammer the rest of it out. Fix the camera for you. Now let me turn the gearbox so you can see it popping out. Oh, wait. Almost out. Let's make sure the screwdriver is still straight. Actually, And when that comes out, the gears on the inside should fall down. Should, could, and would, there's two different things. If you look in and you can see all the way through and you haven't dropped down, then you have to push them down. I'm just going to have to get something down there, because the only way the rest is going to come out is when these drop down, because they stay bound. So there is washers on either side that have tabs, and I'll show you that when they go to come out. Yeah, just to make sure that the gear is dropped all the way down. There's only so much you can do to try, because the gearing on top is in the way. Alright, so now that's done, where we can move on to next is we can now take the front motion out. How are we going to do that? We're actually going to tap it out from the rear here. So, yeah, the gearing is a little different to the late one. So, stand it up again. I'm going to wipe it so you can see. So, let me zoom in. The bearing, as you can see, the casing there's the bearing case. We're going to tap that casing out. So that has to come all the way out. Now, the easiest way to start it is here, but then I'll have to turn it onto its side. And the reason why is I want to hold onto it when it comes out all the way out. Because I want to be able to put my hand in and hold it as I finish off tapping. For now, and it shouldn't take too much to get it going. They're not exactly pressed in great. I did take the spring off the front, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Because the rear one is still on. I'm sure I took it off. I just want to make sure I took it off before I start tapping it in. The next reason why you don't want to keep going like this way is because eventually if that drops out, all of these are going to fall down. You don't want to do that, especially if you're not sure where everything goes. So, we'll go back to its side again. So let me fix the camera for you. Drop it down. There is a groove on the far side that's pretty good, but you need a smaller screwdriver to get in there. But I'll get to that when I get this so far out. You have to be mindful not to hit the actual gearing. This way now, so I can see a bit better. Actually, hopefully it stays up. No, stop and moving. Alright, now I need a smaller screwdriver, which I had got one. I don't know where it's gone. So I can fit in this groove to keep going with it. It wasn't that long. Smaller flathead. This should come out a little easier than this. Usually doesn't take this much force to get it out. Check at the front, because what I might be able to do is I can actually get forks and actually pull it in, but I haven't tried it that way. I just thought about it now, but I don't think I have any too small ones enough to do that. I've always just tapped it out, but again, it shouldn't take too much to get it out. It's taking a bit more than what I should. It's one of those things, once you get to a certain point, it will just fly out. Just getting to that point. Especially because if you're only hitting one side, it can move as well. Almost gone. I should be able to just lie here now. There. That's why I wanted to catch it, because I wanted to make sure these stay in order, because I knew they were going to pop off. So we have that out, and again we'll make sure that I didn't hit any of the teeth here along. Again, when I get it, there's going to be a new bearing going on that, so when I get the new kit, so I'm not worried about the bearing itself. I just want to make sure I didn't damage any of the teeth here, the sprocket as I went along. So that's all I'm looking for. Alright, so there's the first motion. Now, in order to get this section out, what we have to do now is take this bearing, and then it has to go this direction, out the back. Don't push it in. If you push it in, you're never going to get it out. I've tried it, I've done it, I screwed it up before because it wasn't coming out, and I tried to knock it in to try free it, but everything gets jumbled up and you just won't get it out. So make sure it goes out that direction. So, how do we do it? Right the front. So, I'm going to get, first of all I'm going to get another piece of wood. Oh my god. Okay. Let me get some stuff off the table. It's too much stuff. I need 2 tools. Shaft to the side, onto the side, the side. Okay, so now I need the same spreaders again. Ready to go. Oh, well done. Alright, the same as the last time, I'm going to do the same with this shaft here. What's the thing spinning? I'll see if we'll save it again. Maybe I'll get a look and get 2 in one go. hold on. Half of it. Oh, you got it. Got to get this tool deeper into it so I can open it a bit more. There you go. Alright, that's off. You want to make sure the washer comes off. Now, for this one, there's another ring here on the outside that looks exactly like a ring you find in a piston. You can see there's a ring here. So we're going to do the exact same with this. It gets spread out. So if we bring it up to the very top, it gives you a bit more gather in the start here. But again, this is one of those there we go. Alright. Sometimes you can do it the same as a ring, as a piston ring, where you get one side off and just basically flip it around and it pops off. Anyway, now that that's off, what we're going to do here is we're going to force this bearing out this direction. We're going to get 2 screwdrivers, and if you've ever popped the piston out of a set of calipers, we're going to do the same way. Put it in and force out. So I need the biggest ones I have. One, and I need another flathead that's big. I don't know where it's gone. Oh, no, yeah, no. There. So that groove that was in, that's what I'm going to use as the point to get it in. For some reason, this one doesn't want to fit in yet. And this is where it can go sticky and wrong for you, is that if it doesn't want to come out. So you put it against my chest, and where's, oh, how far did you come out? You came out some of the way. Go again. Oh, ooh. Let me get a bigger screwdriver. This is the frustrating part because it has to separate. So what you might have to do is make sure there's enough room for it. If it overheats, it can expand in here, and that's why you get stuck. That's what's happened to me before, and I ended up ruining one because I couldn't get it out. Okay, so I'm going to go any further. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I just want to make sure the gear in here stays in the middle, just because the reverse gear can get stuck on the gears in here and stop it from going. So, just spray. So, it's just to make sure it has to come out this way. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Okay. This is the part where I may have to stop it here and then get to it and come back. Because this will slide all the way down. This should slide all the way down, but it has to come out this direction. What I may do is to try tap this up and give it a bit more of a spread and make a gap and see can I tap it out. That's what we'll try now to see if it will move. It may or may not. I'll find out where the hammer went to. Okay, so I'm going to it's just bringing it back in. It's bringing the whole thing in. So I'm going to go back to square one. I'm going to probably, I might do this a few times and see can I get it to stick out. Pop it. The more I move, the hopefully will loosen up and then come out. But where is the other one? Hang on a second. Let me see if this one will work a little better. I have a bit more leverage on this one. Okay, I have to get my other one. And now I'm going to go find it. Great, now I'm looking for it. I'm not going to find it because I'm looking for it. Usually the case when you look for something, you don't find it. It's not there where it's meant to be. Oh, my other pry bar is going for a walk. Great. Alright, let me see if this one will fit back in. Nope. So I'm going to tap it back in a bit, put a bit more spray on it. I'm going to try this a few times just. Because again, the bearing itself can actually move. So if it's not dead straight, it might not come out, and that could be just a case of, again, trying it from different angles. Like I'll try it from down the bottom compared to the top and see how much pull again. I'm just checking the reverse again. I just want to make sure that nothing was actually block me. So I'm probably going to spend a bit now, and we're almost done. We're almost done. So to probably pry from different spots. All right, so because it'd be nice to get enough motion on this. If this shaft was in a little further, I could actually move all these up and leave enough space to actually tap it out from the inside, which is ideal what you want to do. So what I might do is I might tap it in, and I'm going to go back and try to release it enough that I can do it. So I'm going to play around with this for a bit, and then in part two, because this video is long enough now, I'll show you at that last piece where I got it out, we're going to take out the last gearing at the bottom. That should be this end of it. And then I'll show you about taking the gearing out on this piece. And we'll go through the top section, how to remove all them shafts. So for now, I'm going to struggle with this a little bit more. I'm going to keep tapping it in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and hopefully get it to wind up and come out. And hopefully get the shaft here, the main shaft, to go in enough to leave enough room that I can push the gearing up and leave a bit of space to tap it out from the inside, which is what you want to do. But if it came out in one, it'd be great. You should be able to just, by right, literally just pry it out. That's the way it should come out. But again, it depends how straight it is. It could be now starting to shift down, and it's putting all the pressure on the top, and that's why it's just not going to be easy. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and hopefully this was helpful so far, and we'll continue on in part 2. So, thanks for watching.